Yo, what's up, everybody? I just wanted to make this quick video because yesterday I realized something pretty cool. I don't know if you guys ever been to a situation where like you came across an idea or a concept and immediately a lot of things in your life started making sense. This happened to me. So basically for the last 4 days I've been like listening to lots of audiobooks. I mean, like while I'm like doing housework and stuff like that, around the house, chores and things like that, yard work, like projects around the house. And I walked into the kitchen and I was just like, man, I kind of had enough of this. And my girlfriend offhandedly just said like, yeah, you need a little bit more, you had a lot of input time and now it's time for you to get some output time, huh? And I'd never thought of it that way, but that's kind of how my body and mind works, I think. So there are times in my life where I'm trying to put things into my head, things in my body, like in the input phase or the input zone or the input time. What I'm trying to do is like I'm trying to like learn things or like do it like escape behavior, like, you know, like reading fictional books or like trying to learn something like in a very, very detailed way that's not even that relevant, because I'm trying to escape something, trying to like run away from something, some negative emotion or like some anxiety that I'm feeling. And the anxiety that I'm feeling right now is like what's happening like around the world right now and like the economy, things like that. Like the world's in a pretty uncertain state. So I was doing like this escape behavior. Now it's not really a negative escape behavior. I love reading and I like audiobooks and stuff like that. But I was also doing escape behavior as far as like eating. Like unhealthy foods, sugars, things like that. And I think it all has to do with input time. I think people need to put things into their mind, into their bodies, and then they need to do output time, which is like they need to create things, they need to put things into the world, and like they need to put their energy into the world by like physically being active and things like that. So just understanding that paradigm really has shifted the way I think about productivity. I love input time because it like allows me to marinate on some ideas. So like for the last 4 days while I was listening to these stories, by the way, I found this new category of fiction called Lit RPG. It is really interesting. Maybe I'll do a video on that. But those are the types of books I was listening to for the last 4 or 5 days. I think I read like 8 books in the last 4 days, all on Audible. But yeah, I'll talk about that later. But while I was doing that, I was really marinating on some ideas about like my authentic self and like also what I want to do with YouTube and like what I want to do with all my side hustles and things like that, like the gifts that I want to give to the world. And I think that input time is super important because what you're doing is you're letting your mind kind of marinate on things without having the pressure of creating things. But the whole time I was in this input zone, I was kind of feeling guilty, like, man, I'm not really being productive, I'm not really moving towards the goals that I like set out for myself. Is this a good thing to do? And what I've realized is, yeah, it's a good thing to do as long as you're not doing it all the time. And also, while I'm in input time from now on, I'm gonna schedule this so where when I go into this like input zone or this input phase, I have no guilt. Like I shouldn't feel bad about this because it's part of the creative process. So another thing that I realized is that it's not about getting a lot of things done. Sometimes it's more about getting the right things done. And this input time allows you to kind of marinate on all of these like different to-do lists, all of these pressures that you have, all of these ideas that you want to like work on. It allows you to kind of pause and like not even think about it. And then when you come back, it gives you like a new perspective on what you're supposed to be doing. So that's input time. But then you also need to schedule in some output time. Now, when you're doing output time, when I'm doing output time, as I'm going to be moving forward, what I'm going to do is I'm going to practice kind of like a mini dopamine fasting type situation while I'm in output mode. So basically, what that entails is no no audiobooks, no cell phones, not really even eating that much, because what you're trying to do is I'm trying to conserve all the energy that I have in my mind and my body to like produce something. So in the input phase, you're trying to like figure out, you're not trying to figure out, you're just like letting these ideas kind of like swim around in your subconscious. And then in the output phase, what you're trying to do is you're trying to really implement on the right things. So once you like, and it'll make sense, like when you do input time, and if you do it right, and if you're if you're like doing things that are enjoyable, eventually those things will become boring, and like you'll get tired of it, no matter how good of a time that is. And then once you come out of input time, just jump right into input time. So this is kind of what that's what I'm doing right now, is really thinking about what it is that I want to do with the next week or so. So I'm gonna go into like hardcore output mode this week, and I think I have a clear idea of the things that I need to get done this week, and I'm like having a lot more confidence in myself to be able to get those things done, because I had all this like unstructured free time to just live and like be hedonistic and enjoy like the pleasures of life. And yeah, I think that is important. And I guess that's another way of doing work-life balance, is to really think about like enjoying life and then working towards the life that you want to like live. So you should be doing both of those things. And it's also like very similar to this idea of like, you know, like you'll stop working when you retire. No, you should be like you should have like mini retirements throughout your life. And this whole idea of like input time, output time is kind of like that too. All right, guys, I hope this video wasn't too crazy. Probably didn't make too much sense to all you guys. Love you. Talk to you soon. I'm gonna make more of these. Love you. Bye.